I'd like to thank Jeff for that song it has led. Kind of goes in with my lesson. I'd like to thank the elders. I think this program that we got here with people that normally don't get to talk during the summer. I think it's a win-win. We give the teachers a break, and we get to see how everyone has improved over the year, I guess you might say. And some of them we've seen have really done a good job. I would like to talk about where I got this idea that I was going to talk about tonight. I went up to Tractor Supply the other day and I was coming out. And I saw these ladies when I was going in. I didn't pay any attention. They had a booth set up. I was coming out. And when I was coming out, they asked me, would you like to contribute money to stop bullying? I stopped and I paused and I said, so if I give you money, you're going to stop bullying. They said, no, we want to stop bullying. And I said, well, you know, bullying's been here since the beginning of time. It's going to be here to the end. Y'all spend all this money on this equipment you got here, all this time. I think if y'all take that time and go home, teach your children how to deal with bullying, because it's here to stay. I think that's a better time spent for you. And they kind of looked at me and, yeah, you may be right. And I said, well, read the Bible. In my mind, I said, read the Bible, you know, and you'll figure out it's right. Bullying's going to be here, I think, to the end of time. So that's where it come from. I thought that would be a good place. And I'm thinking that this would be something good for our young to listen to. And I will say this, anything I say tonight can be voided by your parents. But I think I got a couple of ideas that'll help you, and some, of course, some stuff out of the Bible that'll help you. A bully's objective is to get control of you. No matter what they're pushing or what they want control over you. As Christians, their main objective, I think, and especially our young Christians, they want to push them to sin because it's an evil thing. Let's look at Ephesians 4:29. The word says here, let no unwholesome word proceed from your mouth, but only that such a word is good for our edification according to the need in the moment, so that it will give grace to those who hear it. I'm going to say this all through this. We need this lesson. After I started doing it, it's not only for the children. There's adults that I know have been picked at, let's say, for being Church of Christ. Probably are likely extreme from time to time. When we do confront someone about that, we need to check ourselves before we come back with something at them, and make sure it's something that makes us look well. They want to see us break down. Let's look at Colossians 3:8. Colossians 3:8. But now you also put them aside, anger, wrath, malice, slander, abusive speech from your mouth. We need to remain calm when we're dealing with someone that's aggressive toward us. We don't need to wind up turning into them as we're talking to them. I've got a couple of things that I think are a wonderful asset when it comes to dealing with someone that wants to bully us or wants to push us around or wants to pick us about being Christians. One of them, when we deal with them, try to smile. Show them your heart. Try to smile. They won't be able to deal with that. They won't be able to be aggressive toward you if you smile. I talked to Leon Goff about this lesson about that right there, the smiling. He said and a lot of y'all know Leon. He's a gospel preacher, so the ones that don't know him, he's 91 years old, I think, right now. But he said, going to the lectures, there would be a man there. He's a Church of Christ preacher, of course. He would get up and debate other denominations. While he was talking, he would smile. When he got through with his sentences, he would smile. When he got through with his response, he would smile. The debater could not debate him. He did it so many times that a preacher wrote a book about how powerful, and it was an opposing preacher, wrote a book about how powerful his smile was. They could not debate him. So it's a great asset to have. I was looking on the internet the other night, and I saw, I hope I say this right, Kayleigh McEnany, President Trump's press secretary at one time. She was being debated by someone, I can't tell you what for, but the lady was really coming at her really hard. It was some kind of setting like Senate or whatnot, and she was smiling at her. The lady had to stop. She said, "What are you smiling at?" She said, "You." She could not debate her. It's amazing what a smile will do. And there's another thing our Lord and Savior used, is silence. There's times we're going to need to turn around. These children are going to need to turn around and walk away. Use that smile, turn around, walk away. If you're debating a whole group of people ganging up on you young ones, turn around, walk away. Nothing says you have to stand, go toe-to-toe with them. You need to learn how to smile, be silent, walk away. I love what Jesus did in this situation. John 8, 6 through 11. John 8, 6. This was the scribes and the Pharisees. They were harassing him somewhat, trying to get him to place judgment on a woman they said had been an adulteress. This is how he reacted. They were saying this and testing him so that they might have grounds to accuse him. But Jesus stooped down, and with his finger he wrote on the ground. But when they persisted in asking him, he straightened up and he said to them, "Who is without sin among you? Let him be the first to throw the stone." And again he stooped down, he wrote on the ground. When they heard it, they began to go out one by one, beginning with the older ones. And he was left alone, and the woman where she was in the center of the courtyard. Straightening up, Jesus said to her, "Woman, where are they? Did no one condemn you?" And she said, "No one, Lord." And Jesus said, "I do not condemn you either. Go, from now on, sin no more." The beginning of this statement, I'm thinking he was very silent. That's what I get from it. I may be wrong, but he didn't have nothing to say. He was paying no attention to them. But one thing, people, him being silent gave him a lot of time to think about what to come back with when they did persist him so hard where he had to say something. And it was very clever. I think we need to take this as a lesson. Like I said earlier, we don't have to respond to someone that's bullying us, pushing us around. But when we do, make sure it's something, like I said before, you're calm, you're collected, and it's something that's the Lord's going to like for us to say. I guess there's no better term than that. I've got a story I want to share with y'all, and I'll be honest, I'm stealing it from Chuck Durham. So when we are pushed to the limit, sometimes we lose it. We do get angry. Anger is something that's going to happen. It's not necessarily something that the Lord likes, but it's something that's going to happen. He was angry from time to time. Let's look at Ecclesiastes 7:9 before I begin. I don't know if I'm doing this at the right place or not. Seven, 9. Do not be eager in your heart to be angry, for anger resides in the bosom of a fool. This story is about anger. There was a young man at the time. His name is Jimmy Barber. He was dating a woman. She lived with her mother. She had a daughter at the time that had nothing to do with the man. It was not his, but the woman had a daughter. This man, Jimmy Barber, got high on crack, and he was drinking. He was on a binge for days. He come into this lady's house, the matriarch of the family, and took her life and stole from her. And I'm going to do this as short as I can. It was a very brutal death, but he gets sentenced to death. He's on death row. This is in Alabama. That young girl, she began to hate him. She began to hate him so much. Every day of her life was spent hating this man. Every chance she got, she wrote him a letter telling him how many evil ways she wanted for him to die and what he had done to their family. And she could not be more aggressive about it, letter after letter after letter. But that rocked, she did that for like 10 years. He's on death row. Okay, he's on death row. And I'm not sure about this. I didn't get this. Either the TV in his room or any TV he had available to him went out. They didn't fix it. They gave him a Bible. He read it 3 or 4 times, cover to cover. he realized, I've got to be baptized. At that time, there was a Church of Christ preacher that was working with the lesser offensive people in that jail. But it took him quite a bit of time. It wasn't like he told them he wanted to do it. He had to hammer them for a long time to get them to baptize him. But he was baptized by this man. He was saved. In the meantime, this girl comes to her senses. And this story's been going on for, like I say, at least 10 years. And she wakes up and she realizes, I'm the one in prison. I've become the demon. I'm just like him. I've got to fix this. So she got herself fixed. She wrote him a letter. She had no idea what had happened to him while he was in there. She wrote him another letter. This letter was asking him for forgiveness for all the letters that she had wrote him all that time. Please forgive me. And when she did, when she got his forgiveness and she forgave him, she said the burden was lifted off of her. She was a different person. She went and met him. They corresponded for a while, but then she was able to go see him at the jail. And she realized it wasn't just one of these jailhouse salvation deals. The guy knew he was going to die. He never said he didn't do what they said he did. He knew he did it. He never knew why he did it, but I kind of skipped over that. But she started campaigning for him with the governor and the prison system. She wasn't successful. She watched him get put to death. And it was very brutal for her at the time. She was there. She knew who he was. She knew he had changed. Before he died, he apologized to the family. Their family was their name was EPPS, the Epps family. He apologized to them, and he had made himself right with God. I'm assuming one day we will run into Jimmy Barber in heaven. But my story here, we cannot put ourselves in a position to where we're angry with anyone, much less anyone that's part of our church family. That should never be. And I'm not, I forgot to say in the beginning of this is not pointed at anyone in this building. See, I know we don't have any problems like that I know of. But this woman, who did it hurt when she was angry with this guy? When she was holding this grudge? When she opened up her heart to the devil, who did it hurt? Hurt her. It didn't hurt him. It's not going to hurt. It's not going to hurt Jeff if I get upset with Jeff and I hold anger in my heart against him. He probably wouldn't even know it. It hurt me. We need to always keep that in mind. Anger is something that happens, but when anger turns into a grudge and it's an anger that sticks with us, we need to get rid of it. We can't have this anger in our heart. It destroys the relationship we have with the Lord. How long have I talked? 20 minutes. I hope I gave y'all something to think about. I hope I wasn't too far out on a limb. I hope the children might have got something from it if they ever have trouble with people bullying them about being Christians. It's highly likely in this world we live in right now, they're going to be attacked quite often. The media has created this system to where we have these people on the left, they can attack our children, but our children can't do anything back to them, and or the parents. We've already witnessed that in our family. So keep your heart right with God. If there's anybody that hadn't obeyed the gospel, this is a wonderful time to do it right now. You're in front of a whole group of people that love you. That's the only way I'd get up here, knowing that everybody in this room loves me. But I got one critic, but he don't count. He's already told me, so that's all right. But if you need to be baptized, here's the place. Here's the time. If you've been a Christian and you turn your back on the Lord and there's something in your heart you need to take care of, come forward as we sing this song. Thank you.